Hello, my name is Lisa Courier, and I decided to give a venue for people to be seen and heard for tonight's city council meeting. I feel like it's really important that you feel the tone and feel what's going on with us in the community because we're writing letters and we're doing that thing, but it's really not, I think, as um, enlightening as some of the things that you'll hear today. So here I'm going to show you first off a short video of one of our homeless folks who got taken out of their spot. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with this video, and then we're going to address items on 5.2 on the agenda for tonight's item. And then after everybody's done commenting for 5.2, we're going to make comments for business from the floor. So here we go. Let's see, share screen. Where are we at here? Can everybody see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks good.
No, this is a video. Normally you can hear her voice speaking. She was staying underneath the bridge and she got moved. And what she's saying here is now, since she's being moved, she has nowhere else to go and that is flooding. This is the reality of what our people are dealing with every single day. And that's what I wanted to start the meeting on with. Okay, so right now I'm going to stop the sharing of the video. Did I stop sharing it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, first off, we're going to have Ray speak.
Sure. Hi. In that video, you see literal waters rising, and that's a perfect, I feel, illustration of what's going on right now currently with our unhoused community members. I am here talking to you today in support of item 5.2 for a safe temporary car parking space campground. We have lost several of our community members this year, and we as a community, I feel, are responsible for each other, and we need to step up. And while we may not have all the answers, we can start with some stability for our unhoused community members. So even a safe parking spot will start, that will be the most stability that some folks will have for a while. And so we need to have humane solutions and just solutions. And this is just a first step. This is definitely just a first step. We seek more and for our community members. So I am in support of a safe car parking spot and any humane solutions that we can come up with together.
Okay, and then I'm going to go next. And my name is Lisa Courier, and I am also in favor of 5.2. I'm in favor of that.
Step back up from your thing.
Huh?
Back up from your microphone.
Your voice is muffled.
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautifully.
Okay. So my name is Lisa Courier, and I'm here to present to you that I also support 5.2 solutions for humanity. I am not in favor in any way, shape, or form of taking folks out of the park or doing any of that during the middle of a pandemic. The video that we showed earlier was a client of mine who has nowhere to move her things because she got moved out of the area she was, by the water, and also by being ticketed, or not ticketed, but cited in her area. In the areas of Chico, I don't believe that it's the right of humanity to take someone's spot where they are. Do we agree that people should be camping? Probably not. But we're in the middle of something that is tragic for the world. This isn't something that's just happening in Chico. Homelessness isn't at its all-time highest just in Chico. The majority of people that you see on the streets are not the majority of people who are in the homeless population. So if we take just our folks that are children, there's over 500 children who are homeless. There are families in tents that are being moved from here to there. And if families had a safe place to park their car, such as that's proposed, or have a safe camping spot, I think we can bring humanity back a little bit. I mean, where are you supposed to do anything? Take a shower, go to school, get your internet, for your kids. I think that this is a start of a solution, and I think we need to say yes to this. Angie Kath, do you want to go next?
Yeah. I can't possibly understand the reasoning behind evicting people from the park, other than, it doesn't look good there and there's a mess there. Again, as everybody is saying, where else are they to go? And that's just, it's just a inhumane thing to do. I don't know what else to say, but it just sort of confounds me of why we continue to evict these people or continue to move them out. So I'm in favor of, designating a parking spot, letting people stay in their cars. That would give, more space to other people with cars and things. But I'm in favor of letting them to stay where they are right now. Okay, they're at the Triangle. Let them stay there. They've been in the Triangle. People have been in the Triangle for the last couple of years, at least the last 3 years that I've noticed. And is there trouble over there? I haven't seen or read of any trouble. So I'm just saying, just let the people stay. Put your resources into, again, like we're talking about, finding some more mental health situations. And a lot of people need mental health help that are not necessarily even mentally ill. But this is a really tough situation for everybody with the pandemic and economic situation. So I'm much in favor of putting our resources towards mental health.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go.
Yeah, Serena.
So humans have sought shelter since the beginning of time. It is because humans need shelter. It's on what Maslow's pyramid. Humans need shelter. You can't just expect people to disappear. It's just not going to happen. That's not the way things work. We can't wish away poverty. We can't wish away homelessness. We have to do something about it. 5.2 could potentially help us actually solve a problem. It costs more to go on these cleanups than it does to actually help people come to a good place. We create jobs if we have a better mental health system and a better system for housing people. So my point is that people need housing. And also this is not unique to Chico. This is all over the place. And there's proof, if you really look into it, that in the areas that people actually helped and create, in Utah, for instance, look at Utah. Please look at Utah. Because the houseless program in Utah is beautiful and their cities look so much better. There's no garbage. There's no shit on the side, or poop on the sidewalk. So there's proof. There's reliable proof that shows when people actually give people a hand up that things go better. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Serena. Jesse? Oh, Diane? Go ahead, Diane.
I've been riding my bike through Lower Park, and notice that's where the people that got evicted from the 1 mile are now in Lower Park, where they just last year were getting moved out of. So we're just moving them back and forth, the unhoused back and forth. And with the CDC asking us to shelter in place, this does not make any sense to be dispersing people. And the unhoused, they're recognizing that as well. You know, they want to stay safe against COVID. So I'm in agreement with the agenda item 5.2 to provide safe vehicle parking at the Caltrans location or any other location that is available. Of course, unhoused folks need porta potties and wash stations and showers. And then I'd love to see the second phase provide camping in tents. So the first phase, you know, with the safe vehicles and then the camping. The other point is that the cost savings that can happen if we consolidate where they're staying is that the officers don't have to run around all around town moving people who are living in their vehicles. Instead, they will be in one place getting their needs met. And the cost of officers having to do that, hassle people. So yes, I think it's one of the solutions. There's other solutions that we need, but this one I think can be done quickly, and we need it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Emily?
I can go next if that's good. It's so distressing to realize that human beings are being forced out of their very meager place that they have chosen or that they've found to shelter. And one of the things that I'm thinking about is the people who have decided that criminalization and making life as difficult as possible for folks who don't have homes are under the impression that that homelessness is a choice, that that they are doing this because they don't have the gumption to get up and find a job and find a house and get their life together. There are so many reasons, so very many reasons why people are unhoused. And that maybe that's what I just described as true of a small fraction of the folks who are out there. But most of them are human beings whose lives have fallen apart. And for so many reasons, you know, so many of our friends and neighbors and ourselves perhaps are one accident or illness away from homelessness, or just one person who will help away from homelessness. We just, I'm calling on the people who are considering the homeless folks to be criminals, to be nothing worth caring for, to realize that they are our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, and it's there but for fortune. They must really stop now with evicting people from their meager little tents and wait until there's a place for them to go. It's not only the pandemic, it's in the middle of winter. And do those people, you know, where are those people going to go? They have bodies, they need to be somewhere, and maybe they should be in somebody's front yard. You know, I personally would rather them be in the parks, even though I'm feeling very sympathetic. We need to provide humane shelter. That's it. Thank you.
Well put, Emily. Thank you. Jesse or Katie?
Sure. My message is simple. I think that we have a moral obligation to help folks who are in need in this way. I support 5.2. I believe that each one of us has a divine spark within us, and to treat people any less than that, any less than human, is immoral. And so I appeal to people's moral obligation to help our fellow human beings.
Beautiful, Jesse. Thank you. Katie, do you want to speak or you're on mute? How do I unmute her?
How's that?
There you go.
So of course I support 5.2. But more than that, it's a Band-Aid. It's just to get us through right now. It is certainly not the end. It's just the beginning to get us through right now, because the neighbors of Lower Bidwell Park couldn't stand to see people in tents anymore. But it's certainly not the end. The least we can do for our unhoused neighbors, is to let them have a safe place to park, a safe place to let them be in tents during a storm, to have some bit of shelter to keep them safe. And for those that will hear this and will say, let them sit in your front yard, put them in your backyard. You know what? We tried to do that after the campfire, and people were told no, that they couldn't. Sean Morgan sat on the dais and said, no, that's the neighborhood I grew up in. Absolutely not. You can't do that, landowners that would like to help your fellow citizens. So that is not an option. Different neighborhood groups have told people that no, you cannot do that, that it goes against the neighborhood rules. So for those that would like to throw that at those of us that would like to help, we have been told repeatedly that it's not doable. So instead, let's find something that is incredibly easy and doable, like opening up a parking lot. A public parking lot. What could be easier to help people right now, today, to get people in a safe, well-lit environment where they can have a sense of security? Can you imagine going through life with serious mental illness, trauma, and then putting people in dark alleys, parks, scary environments with no belongings, or as we saw at the beginning of this, in a flooded out under bridge, and expecting them to thrive, to pull up their bootstraps and move along, get a job, get a degree, go start a business? We wouldn't expect that of a rescue dog. Why would we expect that of a human being? This is our time to move. Let's help these people now. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Beautiful. Benson.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Katie.
Can
Your turn, Benson.
okay, thank you. Yeah. I support 5.2. I support solutions. I support the BMX project. However, if you look at it, they're going to be housing basically about 100 people there. And it's going to cost about $700,000 a year. So we're going to be housing people. We can actually put people in shelter in a really good situation, if you will, for about $7,000 a year. But then if you look at the number of homeless people that we actually have in Chico, we're not going to be able to, we're not going to be house everybody. It's an impossibility right now. I don't see a path, because basically we need more money, and there's a limit to how much money we have. So I think the conversation starts, I think the council needs to take the leadership, and the conversation needs to be, how do we manage our homeless population, and look at the whole picture finally. And if we look at the whole picture finally, we'll realize that moving people around from one place to another is not a solution, and it's costing us money. Every day it's costing us money. This solution is wrong-headed, and we know it is, and we keep pursuing this for no good reason. Thank you.
May I
Thank
say
you,
one more
Benson.
thing?
Sure, Katie.
I would like to point to an article in the Sacramento Bee about a homeless neighbor who bedded down in a tent for the night during the worst of the storms last week, that died during the storm. You know, this isn't a joke. We're dealing with people's lives. I mean, the storm literally killed this woman who was bedded down in a tent for the night. That was her only protection from a wild storm. I live in a strong, well-built home that was built in the early 80s. And that storm had me worried. I can't imagine what it was like in a little tent from Walmart. And she lost her life in that little tent on a street in Sacramento. That could have very easily been Chico. We must take action.
I agree. Chris?
Yeah, I've been out at the Triangle, and there's a couple of misperceptions about the Triangle. It's the garbage that's built up there right at the top of Creek. The city staff told the homeless people to put it there. As their things get wet and ruined, they put it there because they were told to put it there. And the city gave them nothing to put their garbage in. And they don't have the resources to do anything. They're lucky if they can find food.
Yeah.
You know, they are wet to the bone. As Katie just said, their tents are leaking. I've been out there. I slept one night with them there, and I could only do one night because it was such difficult conditions. People go by and they lay on their horns, so you cannot get a good night's sleep. Those people are exhausted. You know, they have been through so much, and it is incredibly inhumane what is being foisted on them now, that they are to move when a place where they have nowhere to move to, nowhere to put up their tents, which provide them the small amount of shelter that they have. And I agree, that storm last week with the wind, I have no idea why we didn't have more people dying of hypothermia. But I'll remind City Council that every death that happens is on your watch and you were responsible for it.
Yes.
So just remember that. The buck stops with you.
The water's
If these
rising.
people die,
gotta get my
it's
stuff ready
because
and I'm
you
gonna
let them.
Yes.
And I support
Let's
everything else everyone said.
We missed the last part. What happened? Huh? Can anybody hear me?
I can.
I just lost all your video. Your wait,
I fried the circuit.
okay. Okay, so now I think we're all done with 5.2. And I'd like to take this opportunity to try and share this video one more time because her voice is now in it. I don't know how that happened, but we're gonna try it one more time. Where are we at here? Am I there yet?
Yeah.
No, it's not showing still not playing the sound now. That's weird, huh? It just played a minute ago. All right, so we're gonna stop that. So now what we're gonna do
Can I
is
say
we're gonna
something?
go to, yes, Auntie.
I just want to say one thing. You know, for a long time, this situation has been bringing to mind to me a movie that was, oh, I don't know, it might have been played back in the 1960s or something like that. And there's a theme song to it as well. And it was called A Town Without Pity. The subject of the movie didn't have to deal with homeless people, but the words of the song really keep saying in my mind that, you know, it isn't very pretty what a town without pity can do. And I would hate to have Chico be considered a town without pity. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, I just can picture that movie right now. Thank you. So now what we're gonna do, city council, you've heard from us all on 5.2. And now we're gonna speak to business from the floor, which is anything that we want to speak about that's not on tonight's agenda. But we want to make sure that we're heard in this area. So does anybody want to start or you want me to go ahead? Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Another area where homeless people are not successful is with their bodily functions. And neighbors complain about feces. And there's one porta potty by the Triangle and no hand washing station. It is necessary, whatever happens, that people have the basic human dignity to be able to go to the bathroom somewhere that is private and will not cause public health problems. Feces carry many, many diseases, and you're putting all of Chico at risk if you do not provide adequate sanitation for unhoused people. And so until we can get this situation where people are housed, the city council needs to expend money for sanitary facilities for unhoused people.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris.
Can I add to that?
Yes, sure, Katie.
Oroville, I'm not sure who provides it, but in Oroville, they have RVs with laundry and showers that come several times a week in the morning, early afternoon. Is it possible for Chico to have something like that?
And it's
Kevin.
called Haven of Hope. Reverend Thompson administers that, and City of Chico could find out about it. Haven of Hope.
I think Kevin, Pastor Kevin was going to work with the city to come down to Chico at a certain time. I know they were working on that before, but I think that's a good thing to bring up to the council to have them do it more.
Yeah, I believe that I've heard him state that he would like to get to Chico, and they've been so successful that I don't know recently, but I heard that there was quite a bit of money pouring in for them to be able to expand their services to more than one RV, and it seems like it's really well run and so compassionate. That would be great to have them come to Chico.
Yeah, when I've talked to people waiting in line, it's been a huge lifeline. It's a huge support for them.
Basically, I think like the main services, I think like the people who are going to be kept parking in their cars. Okay, if you've got your car, then you've got a way to get to a job, then you get income, and then you can get housing. So actually the car camping is probably one of the most important, the weakest links in this whole process. If we can keep people in their cars, they've got a chance to get that job and get the housing, and they can actually pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get their own housing. So I think and the showers go along with that, and even laundry facilities. I mean, you have to have those three elements basically to get a job. All right.
Right. We have to be careful about talking about car camping now, because now we're at business from the floor. So we want to make sure that we follow the rules so they don't shut us off.
Oh,
and not
okay. Yeah.
past that point.
But we should also remember that a lot of our unhoused neighbors do have some sort of employment.
Yes, that's true. So does somebody want to go? Can I go next? So from business from the floor is, I am appalled and dismayed at the city council's verbiage, and they're sending the target team and the police out to even cite these individuals. It's a humanitarian thing, and it's just simply gross and negligent of the city manager. So I do not hold all of city council accountable, but Mark Arm, I do hold you accountable.
Yes.
You are the one who is in charge of the police. You are the one who, as city councilor Sean Morgan calls you, the skipper. So let's skip and make sure that we're doing the right thing by our people. So my understanding is now we've had a change in the target team, which is fine. And I want everybody to know that We're not against the Target team. We're not against anybody who has solutions. We feel bad for them because they're forced to go out and move people along when sometimes they're even what Jesse was talking about earlier, their moral compass says, you know, I should not be doing this. Well, now Officer Paul Ratto, I don't know if he's a sergeant or an officer, is now in charge of the Target team going out on the daily. He's a good man and a compassionate man. And I'm hoping that, you know, I'm hoping that he works with everybody that's the advocates and the people who are out there helping our folks with a lot of compassion and foresight and open transparency. Another thing I'd like to say is that our folks on the street, so because of our services in this town are so lacking, we are lacking the social services, we are lacking the mental health services, we are lacking. If you take a look, just at the jail situation, 25% of the jail situation are Butte behavioral health clients. 25%. That does not include people with undiagnosed illness, people who are treated by Enloe Behavioral Health, people who are treated by Feather River and Health. Does not include any of those people. Those are just the people in jail. So our folks, as traumatized as they are, some with severe mental illness, some with depression, some with PTSD from what the hell is going on with all of this, let alone from the fire where Stephen was, you know, shot to death because, you know, he was a campfire survivor and was not, you know, out on the streets previous to the campfire when his grandfather died after that. So what I want to say to you is that if we start teaching what we need to start teaching and verbalize to our advocates, to our people on the street, to our neighbors, what is the baseline? Can you please just go meet somebody? Can you please just go listen to someone's story? Can you please just realize that these are human beings? And once you find their story and you go and see them every week or every Sunday or every Monday, Tuesday, whatever days you go out there, like Rayanne goes out there all the time. I used to go out there a lot, but I have to be careful with my mom's illness and stuff. But the fact remains is that we know our people's baseline. So I know if Joe down the street is having an episode that day, I'll know if Joe is sad, right? And then I can call up Ray and say, hey, can you come down and help? Or Addison or any of the other people. Say, hey, can we help this guy before it escalates into a tragedy of someone dying? So what we need is better social services, better awareness of mental health, and better awareness of the touch for people. And I am really sick and tired of people who don't even live in this town commenting that they need to pick up their bootstraps and do that. You know, if you could do that in your deepest depression, you know, I'd like to come to your house and open the closet door that shit falls out on you. I'd like to come over and open the drawer that you have that's a bunch of stuff. I'd like to see what it looks like at your house after a week with your garbage if you have nowhere to put it. Lord help us all. All I can say is, can we bring some humanity, some social services, and some acknowledgement of the mental health for these folks out on the street? That's my comment. Anybody else want to say anything for the general comment?
Yeah, I want to reiterate what Lisa's just said to the city council. Please go visit one of the encampments, and go visit at least one person. If you're sitting up there at the city council ordering these evictions, you've got to know the people that you're moving. And like Pastor Kearns had said, come on, love your neighbor, get to know them, please.
Thank you, Diane.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Benson.
yeah. I just want to say that moving these people goes against the best advice of the Butte County Public Health. I mean, we're endangering them, plus everything else that's wrong. I'm through.
Anybody else? Okay, So you know what, everybody?
No, one more thing. If you
Okay,
can't
go ahead.
face the person that you're moving, and I just wanted to reiterate what everybody else was saying. If you can't face the person that you're moving, then you're just moving them because of public pressure and not because you think they should be moved. And I don't think that this is appropriate. I don't think keeping on moving people is appropriate. And I think that we could put a lot more money into mental health and health. And it would be more efficient
Thank you,
and
Serena.
make for a better community.
Emily?
Or to just add to that, or you're in denial that these are human beings with
Yep.
feelings and their own whole set of story.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
They're not intending to cause anyone else trouble for the most part.
Mm-mm. It's la la la. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anybody else have a last word?
Thank you, Lisa.
Huh?
Lisa, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're
Last
welcome.
word.
So what's going to happen now is I'm going to save this file, hopefully in a YouTube format, because I had it recording the whole time.
Did
And
you
then
record
I
it to
will-
your machine or did you record it to the cloud?
I think I did to the cloud.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I can download it either way, I think.
Okay.
I don't know yet, but I'm going to be calling you, know that, right?
I know. I was trying to see if we had something good. Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you to City Council for using our little experiment, and hopefully the next time we can be seen and heard at the same time.
Lisa,
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
can I just remind the everyone, as the city council, as well as all of our neighbors, that poverty is not a crime. Poverty is not illegal.
yep.
It's true.
Oh, Lisa, stop recording right now. I've got a little blip up in the corner of the screen.
Huh?